In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 biggest flirting mistakes guys make, either on dates or initial interactions. If you can avoid these classical mistakes, you will position yourself and make yourself stand out from 99.9% of the guys out there. Mistake number 1, flirting way too late. So when you go on a date with a girl, first 5 or 10 minutes usually is spent in chit chat, talking about the weather, talking about the week, and that is okay. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to stay in this logical mode for hours, discussing work, discussing sports, discussing hobbies, without actually flirting. What ends up usually happening on dates is that guys wait for the perfect opportunity to start flirting, but the perfect opportunity never comes. Because when you haven't done this a lot, it is quite uncomfortable to start flirting. So 10 minutes pass, 20 minutes pass, 1 hour passes, and you still haven't made any moves. And then a lot of guys decide, maybe not now, maybe not the right time, maybe in half an hour. And then they let the whole date pass without actually making any moves. And a lot of times guys try to kiss in the end without having built up any attraction or any flirting whatsoever, and then they usually get rejected, and it's this one big awkward moment. So the longer you wait to flirt, actually the harder it becomes. And also the way you're conditioning the communication is that it stays in this very logical mode. So when you try to take things outside of this, it becomes very difficult and very awkward. It's the same way when you're used to speaking a specific language with one person, and then you try to speak another language with that person. It's just really awkward because you've conditioned yourself to speak in that specific language. So what you want to do instead is you want to flirt right away. The second biggest flirting mistake guys make is purely relying on compliments and being one-dimensional. I like your dress, you have a nice skin, you have beautiful hair. If all you do is give compliments to a girl, this creates a very difficult atmosphere to take things forward. Now, why is that? The core essence of flirting is push-pull. So you pull her in a little bit and then you push her away. You pull her in a little bit, you push her away. This creates a playful dynamic and a very light atmosphere. Now, what ends up happening is if you just give compliments, if it was a band, you're just pulling things together. So there's no tension. What you instead want to do is you want to balance out the compliments and pushing things in with things that slightly push her away, playfully. So things like exaggeration and blowing things out of proportion, teasing and playfully pushing her away, roleplay and pretending you're in a fun scenario together. All these things create the atmosphere more playful. And it also gives both of you a little bit of a room. Again, if all you do is telling compliments to her, it's the same thing as being in a room where you haven't opened the window for a very long time. There's no air to breathe. So by playfully pushing her away a little bit, you give this breathing room, this new soil for the future flirting attempts to then be based upon. And if you'd like to learn more specific flirting techniques beyond compliments, I've written about this extensively in my Logical Man's Guide to Flirting. This is a completely free guide that covers everything you need to know about flirting. If you still haven't downloaded it yet, the link is in the description. And the number 3 biggest flirting mistake is only relying on words to flirt with her. This might be one of the biggest misconceptions that guys have about flirting, but they think that all flirting is just words. That's why the most searched advice on YouTube or on internet portals is, what is the best pickup line to pick up a girl? Or what should I say to make her fall for me? And this assumes that there are some magic phrases you can say to essentially make the girl like you, but it doesn't work like that. Most of the attraction actually happens non-verbally. To be honest, words are just an excuse to be next to her while the real talking happens with your non-verbals, your eye contact, tone of voice, the distance. These are the things you need to learn. A piercing eye contact and a slow, deep voice will be much more powerful when flirting than the best pickup lines out there. And the key here is to learn how to control these things and to combine them. It's the same principle in stand-up comedy. My favorite comedian is Anthony Jeselnik. He has some amazing jokes. But when I try to deliver those same jokes to my friends, they don't land nearly as well. Because it's not about the joke. It's about the delivery and landing of the joke. Jeselnik and other top comedians, they have practiced delivering this joke again and again, thousands of times. That's why they're pausing, their tempo, their flow. All these things are so practiced that they come out perfect. And you cannot replicate this just by knowing the joke. You actually have to practice delivery. And it's the same thing when flirting. Even if you have the right line, that line won't do anything if you don't know how to deliver it perfectly. And the delivery happens with your body, with your non-verbal communication. This is why it's actually very hard to learn flirting, because most guys think, well, there's some lines that I can just memorize, but it doesn't work like that. It's all about making it land. So to summarize, the 3 biggest flirting mistakes guys make is waiting too long to start flirting, only relying on compliments and only relying on words, and not using the non-verbal communication. If you can avoid these mistakes, and if you can start practicing the things that we discussed in this video, you'll become amazing at flirting in no time. And as I said, if you want to learn more about flirting, download my Logical Man's Guide to Flirting, which is completely free, in the description below. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.